Hey, everybody. Happy Monday evening. We hope you all had a wonderful Mother's Day. My name is Tracy Flintoff, and I'm coming to you from the Pacific Northwest. And my dear friend Jan Rand coming to you from California. You can see the difference in our attire. It's still cold and raining here, and she's in the sunshine. Ah, so envious. And of course, Joyce here down in Arizona with her ceiling fan going. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we are going to share something with you tonight that has literally changed our lives forever. So much so, we can't help but share. And when you see what we're going to talk about, you're going to understand why. Why we are all so excited and why we have such amazing testimonials. And it all has to do with a groundbreaking use of phototherapy. So that's light therapy. Think of sunshine. How good do you feel when you go out in that sun? That is what this is all about. Because what we are talking about tonight is powering up the cells in your body that are the powerhouse. That is what allows your body to have energy, focus, brain cognition, boost performance. That can be, maybe lifting more, running further, quicker recovery, more endurance. So many things all come down to the tiniest little thing that you can't see in your body, and that's a cell. So I'm going to take you back in time here because we're talking about cutting edge technology. And these fellows here are talking about the power of light. And, look back here. This is black and white. Albert Einstein, Thomas Edison. Oh my goodness. The future of medicine is in frequency. That's what we're talking about tonight. Light is a frequency. And Thomas Edison is talking about, the future of medicine really should be focused on prevention of things as opposed to using pills to chase them. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And these two are big trendsetters ahead of their time because what we're talking about tonight is the future of medicine isn't just about treating illness. That's kind of yesteryear. That's the old way of doing things. We are talking about cutting edge prevention to allow the body to unlock its innate ability to heal and repair. And it's pretty amazing when you see what happens. Keep in mind, it's going to take a little time. This is not a magic wand. It doesn't happen overnight. But given some time, amazing. But I do want to share with you that I am not a doctor and I'm not going to be diagnosing or treating any medical conditions tonight. But the product we're talking about is a holistic wellness product. That's how the FDA has classified it. But if you're dealing with anything, we always want you to consult your own medical practitioner, your doctor, whoever it is you go to for advice. And what we're sharing tonight is purely for informational purposes only. But I promise you, you're going to thank us. And you're going to end up sharing it with somebody. It will change their life too. It's kind of infectious when you see what it does. But we're talking about the modern day use of light in medicine. And so you see red light therapy here is that wand, a laser light, uh, infrared sauna. The light we're talking about is off of our own body heat, and it is infrared light. But you don't have to go sit in a stifling sauna and let it heat up for hours. And it's so easy. You're going to love this. But MRIs, there's just many different ways. But the reality is, why would we want to work on using light to make change in the body? And it really comes down to the one central problem that everyone around this globe faces, and it's Mother Nature's decline of life. And when we are a newborn baby, we are full of regenerative cells, the stem cells that allow the body to repair, to regenerate, and to prevent. And as that newborn baby ages, the decline already begins in those stem cells. When we are up to age 12, we still have a lot. We fall down, we skin our knee, we bruise ourselves, we play hard all day long. We go to sleep, we get a few hours of good sleep, we wake up, we do it all again, and we don't have any residual effects from, pain, injury, because those stem cells go and fix it while they're sleeping. But guess what? When we hit age 30-ish, we've lost half of those repair cells. When you're age 60, you're down to less than 10%. I'm turning 60 in November, and I'm so thankful for these patches because they've fixed so many things in my own body. But what we're talking about tonight is really the best kept secret in today's health industry. It's safe, it's affordable, and it will change the trajectory of how you age. And pretty, pretty amazing stuff. What we're talking about is a wearable light technology, and it activates your own body heat to reflect the light back into the body. And it helps us to just regenerate, to feel better, to have more energy. And it's pretty amazing. The reality is, this is a patented product globally. There's no other company in the world besides this company. It's called LifeWave, based out of San Diego. And this company's been around for 20 years. And why you and I haven't heard about it is a crying shame, honestly. But you're going to hear about it more and more. And this little video is just a minute and a half. And I think it explains really well what's happening in the body to allow all this miraculous change. So take a listen.
Light, an ancient form of energy that goes back to the dawn of time. For us, it all begins with the sun, the source of light and life for our entire solar system. Even Einstein concluded that everything we're made of contains light. All life originates with the sun through photosynthesis. Plants and vegetation collect the light, and all living creatures emit light. Humans actually emit infrared light, which can be seen with night vision devices. We've known for centuries that light has many effects on the body. LifeWave's phototherapy patches use light to stimulate the body's natural healing systems, providing specific health benefits. Here's how the technology works. First, a patch is applied to specific points on the body. Where the patch covers the skin, infrared light emitted from the body is reflected back into the tissue. This stimulates the skin, which in turn stimulates specific regions of the brain. The brain then taps into the body's own natural flow of energy and the ability to heal itself. Let's take a look at why this is important on a cellular level. For example, a number of our patch products help counteract free radicals, oxygen molecules that damage cell proteins and contribute to visible signs of aging. When the body is stimulated through phototherapy to release its own antioxidants, these free radicals are neutralized naturally. LifeWave phototherapy patches promote an environment that enables the body to optimize its restorative powers and provide specific health benefits, all without the use of harmful drugs or chemicals, all helping you to stay healthy and young. To find out more, contact your distributor or visit lifewave.com. LifeWave. Live long, live well.
I never get tired of hearing that one. Such a great one. And I'm going to just bear with me 1 minute. I know I saw Joy enter here. Did we get Joy on as a co-host? Here we go. Alrighty. So what we're talking about has been around for, like I said, 20 years, but really it's been targeted to athletes. And this was originally developed 20 years ago down in San Diego for the US Navy SEALs. They push their bodies and they have depression and difficulty maintaining that level of performance. And so David Schmidt, the owner and inventor of this company, was actually commissioned by the Navy to come up with this for them. It took him many years in the laboratory to do so, but he did. And he was able to bring back the dormant stem cells. And that is pretty groundbreaking because up until now, the only way you could get those back in your body was injections of somebody else's DNA, which doesn't always work. It's very painful. But you can see Michael Phelps here. He'd been wearing this on his stomach. When he won all those medals in Beijing, they tried to disqualify him, thinking he had been doping because he outperformed everybody. But look at some of these other sports celebrities you recognize: Tom Brady, Serena and Venus Williams, Mike Tyson, Kansas City Chiefs. But in 2019, when this X39 patch was created, they decided to target people like you and I. Let us benefit from this amazing life-changing technology. So it's not just for sports athletes. But when we activate our own repair cells, we are able to rapidly reduce pain. We are reducing inflammation, which is part of that pain equation. We are helping to support the wounds, whether that be, a bump, a bruise, a scrape, or even surgical damage. And I'll show you that here in just a few minutes. Energy, vitality skyrockets. Skin, oh my goodness, my skin has changed so dramatically, and I am a sun worshiper. And I've had people ask me, did you get a facelift? Why do you look so different? Well, stem cells, love them. Exercise recovery, mental clarity, age reversal. The best part of all of this, though, is it's all natural. So there's no drugs, there's no chemicals. You don't have to worry about what meds you might be taking because there's no side effects. They don't interact at all. This is light. This is no different than you going out in the sunshine for a little while. This is a privately held company with over 200 US patents on age reversal. Pretty amazing. And this website is an excellent resource if you want to dive in and really learn more, or if you want to share this with somebody. You can always invite them here on Monday and Tuesday nights, and we'll do the talking for you. Or you can send this website, startx39now.com, and check out the videos, some pictures. I love the science community section because it shows you the patents, the clinical trials. It also talks about age reversal, all because of a peptide called GHK copper peptide. And that allows some pretty remarkable things to happen in the body. It's like a fountain of youth trigger, that peptide. And just like those dormant repair cells, we lose that as we age, but we can bring it back with the power of light through these patches. So they did a study, and after 6 weeks of wearing X39, participants lowered their cardiovascular age on average about 8 weeks. So that means for every day that you wear the X39, your cardiovascular system is actually under age by a day and a third. That is pretty cool. That's called going backwards in time. That is regenerative medicine, and that's what we're talking about tonight. We're also talking about brain regeneration. So this is a study they did, and in session one, this is baseline before the participant ever started. This 77-year-old woman had a very hot brain. She had a lot of heat. That is shown in the orange and the red. And what we're looking at here is a heat mapping, EEG. And we're looking down on her brain, and where you see orange and red, that's inflammation or swelling. That's slowing blood flow down. That is impairing cognition. She's not, quick on her toes. She's not remembering where she put her keys. Why did I come in this room, right? Things that we all recognize. But guess what happens after the first 3 weeks of wearing the X39? Her first check-in on this test is at week 3, and that is the session 2, the middle one here. That is now a cold brain. That is the body adjusting things. This is a signaling device, the patch, allowing the body to get into balance. The body really wants balance at all times, but there are things that can cause it to be out of balance. The patch just brings it back. Session 3, this is the conclusion of that clinical trial. This is 6 weeks in, and look at that beautifully balanced brain. So what we're talking about here is decreasing the inflammation. We're improving the memory, the focus, her cognition, and it's helping to bring back that GHK copper peptide that then supports the nerve regeneration in the brain. Those neurons, those carry the messaging. When we get those repaired, the memories come back and things get really amazing. Sleep. We have a lot of people that really get excited about how they sleep, and I'm one of them because I had been going through the change of life for 3 years before these patches found me, and thank goodness Joyce insisted I order these. I didn't think I needed them, but wow, she sure was right because I'd been sleeping in 2-hour increments for 3 years, and that does major damage to your brain. I really thought I had Alzheimer's. Thankfully, I just had an inflamed brain. I had hormones that were out of balance. I got sleeping and everything started falling back into place. So I was very happy because what they have determined is that we age in 2 big bursts. Our first big reduction in youth performance is around age 44. And that's right where I was when all of my stuff started breaking down. And then again at age 60. Well, guess what? I am approaching that number. And I'm not anything like most 60-year-olds. I am still running, exercising. Eric and I hiked a mountain this weekend, and I came down and I planted flowers at my beach house. So I have more energy than I know what to do with. That is a good problem to have. But here's why. Look at my master cell here. This is taking what was happening in my body. You see the one on the bottom. It's fraying out, it's decaying, declining. But when we bring these back and we make them beautiful, they send the right messages and they support the organs the way the body was designed so that I don't have to go through that caving in face. And if you were with us last Tuesday night, I did a great session on collagen. And we talked about how we can make that caving in face look young again. And it's very real and it's very possible with your own collagen. This is our very dear friend, Marcy Preble. And Marcy's very thankful for these patches, just like me, because when they came to her from her naturopath, she was literally laying in her lazy boy recliner, waiting to go to heaven. She had 3 different types of fast-growing cells of the breast, the skin, and the lymph. And they did not give her much hope. They had told her, we might be able to get the skin, or excuse me, the lymph and the breast under control, but that type that you have in your skin is aggressive. It never goes into remission, and it is the type that will cause the decline in life very rapidly. Well, guess what? She's here with us still 5 years later, and she is doing fantastic. She's just beautiful and glowing, and she's the one who created that website for us. She is so thankful, and she's a pay it forward kind of lady. She just wants the whole world to know her secret because, to get that kind of condition under control and be in remission for 5 years, that's a big accomplishment. So we've got a couple amazing people here that are showing the difference between anti-aging, which would be stopping where you are, versus age reversal. Age reversal is where we take things backwards in time. And Dr. Harmon here goes from grandpa dude to hot dude in 14 months because he had a blockage in his heart that he was born with. Cardiologist said it would always be there, nothing they could do, but it would shorten his life. And guess what? In a few months, that condition went away. The cardiologist absolutely could not get over it because he didn't think it was really possible. Never seen one of those go away. But that's what you look like when you get your dormant repair cells back. That hair color, by the way, is his own. This lady here, she starts out looking like grandma. She starts looking like maybe she's the daughter. Now she looks like the granddaughter. I mean, she's just glowing. That's 1 year's time. No Botox injections or harmful chemicals. Spine pain and health. Can't say enough good about how many people I've been able to help. So many people in car accidents. They end up at the chiropractor, which is fabulous, and they can realign things, but there's only so far that can go. And a lot of people don't want injections, they don't want surgeries. And this is a tool where we can help their body just do what it was designed to do, and that's repair and regenerate. So that degenerative spinal cord there, indentations, that's bone on bone, that's pain. The bulging disc, that black big circle there pushing into the spinal cord between C7 and T1, that is the actual bulging disc. So you can see here the regenerated spinal cord. That's the same patient. Several months later, now mind you, that particular person was only using X39. They've since realized if we stack, bring in other patches to allow that one to work even better, taking out inflammation, we can cut that timeline down dramatically. The lady here on the right, that's curvature of the spine. That's 1 month later. Her pain's gone. And I know of more than one person, multiple people who've had that kind of result. Pretty amazing. But we're looking at skin repair, whether we're talking varicose veins or hormonal cystic acne, the décolleté, remodeling of birthmarks. It's all natural, and it's only a matter of time how long it's going to take until you get the result you want. Better than Botox. I really don't encourage anybody to put botulism, especially close to the brain. Just use Band-Aids instead, like these little stickers, okay? This décolleté, that's 6 months. I mean, wow, go from shoe leather to that beautiful supple skin. This head of hair here, we're talking, what, 5 weeks? Pretty amazing. And then, Here's a couple other examples of age reversal. These two ladies, look at them. I mean, I wouldn't even recognize them. And it's not just how their skin and hair looks, but look at their eyes. You can just see they have happiness and joy. And we get a lot of that when we get things balanced in the brain. The happiness comes back and the energy. Autoimmune conditions of the skin, they can resolve. This is an autoimmune condition here on the bottom, fast-growing cells. That poor fellow's dealt with that for 15 years. 20 different procedures to cut on his skin. And it just kept getting worse and worse. And then Cami gave him some of these patches, and look at him 2 months later. It's all repairing, it's regenerating at the cellular level, the root cause of why those things were breaking out of his skin. That is key, and that's the difference of what this is. This is root cause repair. That's why it might take a little longer than taking something that's just masking a symptom. But these have been used on horses, equestrian animals for many years. The trainers of racehorses started putting their own patches on these horses when they tear a ligament or, have some condition going. And they're for dogs, they're for cats. They are not just for us humans, but also for our fur babies. This is my friend's dog, Brutus. He went blind from diabetes, and I had got Terry some patches, and I told her, hey, don't throw them away. Put them on Brutus's bed or tape them on the inside of his collar because he had terrible arthritis. This poor dog, you could just see the pain in his eyes when he'd get up. I didn't realize he'd gone blind too. And this is 1 week later. It all regenerated. But this is my favorite part of the night. I'm going to stop screen sharing and I'm going to ask Jan Raymond to unmute yourself. And I'd love you to share your journey with Lifeway products and what you were dealing with before you got them and what have you experienced?
Okay, so I have been using the patches for 5 years, and in my time, I've heard like the craziest stories. Mine isn't a crazy story. I think I'm probably kind of average, you know. I didn't have anything majorly wrong. So when the patches came to me, I had just found out I had osteoporosis in my lower back, and I used to have lower back pain. And I also had this weird thing, my right ankle blew up one day. Just as I was getting ready to work out, I had to go get an emergency ultrasound to make sure it wasn't a blood clot. Long story short, I had something called venous reflux, where the blood would go one way, but it wouldn't come back up. And it was really short of surgery, nothing that they could really do except for me to wear support hose, which I did not want to wear support hose for the rest of my life because they're horrible. So anyways, when Marcy brought this to me, she asked me what was going on with me. So I told her those two things. And I started patching in my lower back. The pain completely went away. And then I patched my ankle with an X39 for stem cell and Eon for inflammation. And I told Marcy, if it works on my foot, I'll share this with people. Within a week, my foot, the swelling went away. It hasn't come back. So that was my short-term stuff. The long term, because people always say, well, how long do you need to use them? And I always say, well, when you want to start aging again, go ahead. But the long-term things that I never, ever expected was, number one, I've dealt with my share of depression. And as Tracey showed us that brain study, it completely balanced out my brain. I don't go up, I don't crash and burn. I just stay very even and consistent, live in gratitude. For me, that's probably the most important thing, how it's changed my life. But what I never expected was I've worn glasses my whole adult life. On my driver's license, it always says need corrective lenses. And in the last 3 years, I cannot see out of my glasses anymore because my eyes are better. So I don't need glasses. And my new driver's license says I don't need glasses. And then the other thing I never expected, when you go to the dentist and they read off the numbers, 1, 2, they're checking the pockets of your gums. 1s, 2s, kind of average. You start getting into 3s, 4s, 5, 6, you got problems. So I had a couple of 5s, couple of 6s, and after patching, all my numbers have come down. So completely regenerated my gums, which was amazing because nobody likes dental work, especially me. I'm a big baby, so I didn't have to deal with any of that. And then I tore the meniscus in both my knees, thank God not at the same time. You know, and if I had chose to do surgery, surgery would have taken, 6 months to a year to recuperate. And I thought, you know what? I'll patch. If it works, great. If it doesn't, then I can always do surgery. So I patched, and within 4 or 5 months, my right knee is 100%. My left knee, I've been patching, and it's probably about 85 to 90%. Most of the time, it's great going up and down stairs. I can't do jumping jacks, things like that. So my knees have been better. And the thing with my lower back, when they told me I had osteoporosis, they wanted to give me this horrible drug. And I looked it up, and the side effects were horrible. It's one of those things where we can fix this problem, but if you take this drug, you're going to have all these other problems. So pick one. So clearly I didn't want to take the drug, and I've been patching for 5 years, and in my last two bone scans, it has not gotten any worse. And I will take that any day, because my goal, I'm going to be 70 August 1st, and my goal in my life is to not have to take any prescription drugs to live. So I love the patches. I'll use them till I can't remember to put them on my body anymore. So that's it. So
Oh, I love it, Jan. That is so fantastic. So many things. And that eye thing, I've had that same thing, and I'm always kind of frustrated because I have, anyway, my eyes have gotten considerably better. My ophthalmologist is always like, "What are you doing? Nobody gets better like you keep getting better." But I have to keep getting different prescriptions. And anyway, it's a great problem to have, because I know a lot of people, as you age, vision is priceless. So, thank you for sharing. Everybody really appreciates when we share like that, because this is how we learn. And this is the only way we can really learn about this, because there are no pharmaceutical reps going to call on your doctor. This is a privately held company that is really not into big pharma and big money. And the owner inventor wants this to be accessible to the masses. And so I'm going to turn this over to my friend Joy.
Hi, everybody. I'm Joy Markham, and I want to tell you about how you can get these patches. The X patches, X39 and X49, they actually help your body create different copper peptides. The X39 is GHK copper peptide, and the X49 is AHK copper peptide. X39, when it helps your body signals your body to create GHK copper peptide, it actually regenerates. There's studies that show when you look at GHK copper peptide, that GHK copper peptide regenerates your body's pluripotent stem cells. X49 actually helps with osteoporosis, like Jan had and just talked to us about. It helps change your muscle to fat, or fat to muscle, excuse me. Said that really backwards. Apologize for that. Fat to muscle faster. It helps with recovery after exercise. It helps with bone density and EMF protection. And it's also really good for organs and metabolism. You can get these patches for $149.95 for a 30-day supply retail, but I'm a Costco goer and I like to get discounts, so I prefer to do wholesale, and I recommend that all of you do wholesale, and we can help you with that. And with wholesale, you can get these patches for $99.95 for a 30-day supply, which I think is the optimal best deal. So then these other patches are what we call support patches. We can bundle those together in a wholesale kit for you with the X patches. The Eon patch actually helps our body with inflammation. It helps to lower the inflammation. It also helps to lower stress, helps you be calmer and happier. it can be purchased for $79.95 retail, or in a wholesale pack, it ends up being $49.95. And we recommend that the Eon and the X39 is what you would start with, because stem cells, when you have inflammation, they end up eaten by the inflammation instead of being able to go directly to work to actually work on the repair. So we recommend that you utilize the Eon in conjunction with the X39 so that the inflammation can be lowered and then the repair can happen quicker. Ice Wave actually helps with pain relief. It actually is a nerve blocker, so it's a 2-patch system. It's still $30 in the package, but it's a 2-patch system, so you get 15 times of use. And what it does is it blocks the pain signal so that you can have relief, so that your body can actually work on healing and repair, because it takes so much energy to be in pain. And so if you have significant pain, we also recommend that you utilize this with both the X39 and the Eon. Alavida, actually, we had a deep dive on collagen, and Tracey talked to us about how we need collagen for multiple different things, not just for our skin, but also for our ligaments and tendons and bone health. And we actually have a casing around our organs that collagen is made of. And Alavida actually helps to elevate your collagen production. It helps with the joint lubrication because of the collagen, and it helps with sleep. It also helps decalcify your pineal gland, and helps to lengthen your telomeres, which telomeres are a direct correlation. The length of your telomeres is a direct correlation of your health and wellness and longevity. So that is extremely important in our life. These are some other different patches that are available. Silent Nights helps your body, when you use it consistently, to up your melatonin so you can sleep better. And anyway, there's other patches that do other things, and you can get back to whoever invited you here and they can talk to you some more about that, or I've dropped a product sheet in the chat. We'll also have questions at the end when we get done. So you can put some questions in the chat if you have that. And the wholesale packages that you can get that we can curate for you. The core, we recommend to a single person, and that gives you 3 points. The X patches are 1 point, and the supportive patches are ½ a point. So we can do a combination of those curated to whatever your needs are. The core pack is $295. The advanced pack, that's for more like a couple people, it's $535. The premium pack is if you have a huge family, lots of friends, or are a practitioner where you need extra patches for other people. We also recommend that you get on a monthly auto subscription because it's recommended that you wear the patches for 1 month for every decade you are alive in order to get to the repair stage. So it helps to detox your body, lower your inflammation, helps get those pluripotent stem cells reactivated, and then starts repairing. And so we just recommend that you be consistent and that you get on a monthly order, because I don't know about you, I have my bills and everything set up so that they can just automatically do, because a month will go by and I won't even, be aware, and time just seems to go so fast. So if you get set up on an auto ship, then it'll just automatically come to you. And that's, from my perspective, the best way to get your patches. Right now we have a special. When you purchase the X39 and X49 bundle, you get a free SP6 pack. So we haven't talked about SP6. SP6 actually helps with addictions, cravings, hormone regulation. And it's just a great thing to have in your toolbox. And the X39 and X49 comes in a bundle. I believe it is $179 for the bundle. And when you order it on your auto ship, it will actually take $10 off. I'm not sure if you can do that with the free SP6 pack. Tracy, do you
I
know?
don't think so, Joy. I think you
Okay.
have to order this into the promotion category.
Okay, so then you would go to the promotions on the website and order it that way, or get with one of us. Pretty soon we are going to have a new thing to offer as far as special water that actually puts light into your body to get into every single cell that we have and heal on a really deep, life-changing level. And I'm looking forward to that. And I believe it's coming out late summer. So stay tuned for that. And we'll keep you posted. If you're interested in actually acquiring one of them, please talk to the person who invited you here, and you can get on a wait list for that. Every Monday and Tuesday night, we have a info session like this, where we talk about how you can get the patches, what the patches do, and different things, so that you're able to be knowledgeable about what they can do, and so that you understand what they're doing and how they're doing it. And so I highly recommend that you continue to come, that you invite friends to come, because this is such a life-changing technology. I mean, it gave me back full functionality after a traumatic brain injury. And for over 5 years, I wasn't able to drive or look at electronics bigger than my phone or work. And it gave me back my life. And I'm so extremely grateful for Tracey to not give up on me, because it took her 6 weeks to get me to try these Band-Aids, right? So anyway, Tuesdays we do a deep dive as well as the intro, and we go deeper into whatever our topic is at that time on a health and wellness topic. And that's like part of my favorite thing to do. And I super enjoy it, and I hope that we see you there. And then Marcy also, she does a Wednesday night Zoom. So,
And then also, if anybody brought a guest, or if you're a guest tonight, if you'll put your name in chat for us. I already have Kelly. I've entered you. Jan and Marcy give away X39 patches for our guests. So far we have one person in the drawing for tonight. And then if you had to, well, if you have questions, we're going to open this up in just a minute here. We're going to get your questions answered. But if you would like to try these and you've not yet purchased, please get back to the person who invited you tonight. They'd be happy to help you. Again, reminding you, X39 and Eon, those are two beautiful patches that go hand in hand for you to get started. Try them for at least 90 days. And do not be surprised if you do not, quote unquote, feel anything. You can't feel cellular change. Know that they are working. They do work for everybody. It just is a matter of what are you dealing with and how long is it until you realize it. So, and then like Joy said, and bring a friend. And we love to help you share this, because to us, this is really priceless. And there's nothing like health. And if somebody's been struggling with something and the doctors say, oh, you're going to always live with it, we're here to say, not necessarily true. The body's smarter than a lot of diagnoses out there. So due to FDA regulations, the company really cannot advertise in the conventional sense, because our country is more about protecting, sadly, big pharma than it is helping people heal. And so you do have to learn about this from a friend. And you can earn some thank you checks if you do end up sharing and they make a purchase. And that can be pretty sizable over time. But we kind of look at it as like a social responsibility to help share. And this is the fastest growing direct marketing company in America for the 2nd year in a row. And that really is not only in America, it's around the globe. The numbers are astonishing. And, whatever your dream might be, if you're looking for a little side hustle or you want to change your career, there's lots of opportunity. And what it comes down to is it's just living younger. The LifeWave X39 patches. will help you do that. And it's pretty much a game changer. And we always say, harness your light, be the light, and share the light. So we're going to open it up now to questions. Anybody has some questions, we're happy to answer them for you. I'm going to go ahead and end the recording now. And thank you all for joining us. And we hope you'll be back next Monday and Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific time.